Hello everyone, today I am going to deliver a lecture on friction welding technique. It is a solid state welding technique. Depending upon the phase, we know that there can be three different categories of welding techniques. One is called liquid state welding, another one is called solid state welding, and another one is called solid liquid state welding. So, in liquid state welding, generally I have already discussed different types of liquid state welding, that are all fusion welding process, where the parent material or workpiece material generally melted. That means, here the workpiece material temperature goes beyond its melting point temperature, and here the material generally goes to liquid state. That is why it is called fusion welding process. Another welding techniques which is not in the categories of fusion welding process, it is a solid state welding process. So, there can be different types of generally solid state welding process are there. Among this, one of the most important solid state welding process is friction welding process. Here generally due to frictional heating, whatever the heat is generated, due to this heat the material become plasticized actually. That means, here the material is in solid state, here the material does not goes beyond its melting point temperature, that you should keep it in mind. So, here the temperature rise within a range of around 80% temperature of melting point temperature. So, due to this, here the material become plasticized due to this thing by application of some pressure, generally here the welding or joining is done. So, detail about this friction welding techniques I will discuss in subsequent slides in details. So, this is the content of today's lecture. Here you see, first of all I will cover the introduction of friction welding, then types of friction welding process. Then I will discuss about most of the type of friction welding process briefly. Then I will discuss about similarity between two important friction welding technique. One is called continuous drive, another one is called inertia drive types of friction welding techniques. So, I will discuss about what is the similarity between them. Then I will also discuss about difference between this continuous drive and inertia drive friction welding process. Apart from these things, I will discuss the other variants of friction welding techniques briefly. So, depending upon the different phases of base and flare material, what I have already told you, the welding techniques can be categorized into three different categories. One is called liquid state welding. So, what I have already told you that it all friction welding process here lies. Which I have already covered different types of this liquid state welding process. Now, another one is called solid state welding process. Here the material or parent material does not goes beyond its melting point temperature. That is why as the welding is done below its melting point temperature, that is why it is also called solid state welding. That means, here the phases of parent material does not go beyond its melting point temperature. Okay. So, there can be different categories of the solid state welding process, like friction, types of solid state welding process, ultrasonic, diffusion, force, roll, explosive. So, these are the different categories of solid state welding process. Okay. So, here today I will discuss about this friction welding techniques, that means, where the heat generated for doing the joining operation is done by using frictional heating. That means, it is done by some mechanical means. So, I will discuss in details in subsequent slides. So, solid state welding process can be done by different method, like it can be done by some electrical means, by some chemical method, and by some mechanical method. So, in friction welding process you can see where generally the frictional heat means of the workpiece material, due to this what happens by application some external pressure, here generally welding is done. That is why here you see, here generally solid state welding process which I am going to deliver today, that is actually friction welding process, which is done by application of both pressure, and what happens due to this pressure some deformation also taken place. Okay, and finally, this friction welding is done. that you should keep it in mind. So, this friction welding process is a process where the heat is generated due to some mechanical means. That mechanical means that frictional types of heating is carried out here. Due to this frictional heating, generally material becomes soft enough. Due to these things, by application of some pressure, we generally join the workpiece together. So, here you see both frictional heating and pressure is required to do the welding operation. These things you should keep it in mind. Here I am just little bit giving some brief introduction about friction welding process. Here you can see here, let us these two circular workpiece we want to join together. So, here this one piece is rotating, you see this left side piece, this is generally rotational workpiece, and this is fixed workpiece. Okay. Workpiece. So, first of all we have to start rotation of this rotational workpiece. After that we have to make contact. In second figure I am showing, you can see. After that, here in this joining region, generally there due to this frictional heating, that means some rubbing types of frictional heating, here frictional heat is generated. This frictional heat generally solve this joining region. After that, generally we have to apply some pressure, you see this pressure types of, or you can say pressure force we have to apply. By this, generally here you see that is due to the softening of material, here some forging types of force types of phenomena is taken place. Okay. After that, generally the final joining is done. Once we generally remove the loads and all the things, the final joining is done due to after cooling like this. So, in fourth figure I am showing a joint which is developed by friction types of welding process. Here I am going to show you different categories. What are the different categories of friction welding process? Here you can see there can be different types of friction welding process. Here I am showing most of the important friction welding process. Here I am showing around 8 different categories of friction welding process which are popularly used nowadays in both research and industrial application. Like friction welding process can be continuous dry friction welding process, it can be rotary friction welding process, it can be linear friction welding process, it can be angular reciprocating friction welding process, it can be radial friction welding process, it can be friction stir welding process, then it can be inertia welding process, and finally it can be friction stir spot welding process also. How it is, everything I will discuss in details in subsequent slides. So, here you see, so these are the categories which is done depending upon the some variation of parameter in the sense variation of techniques you can say, but here the most important part is here heat is developed by frictional heating only. So, one by one I will discuss in subsequent slide in details. So, first of all I am going to discuss about continuous dry friction welding process. Here you see, this is the symmetric diagram of continuous dry friction welding process. Here generally this is one workpiece, this is another workpiece. So, this I am writing, these are the workpiece which we are going to join together. So, for joining these two workpiece, so one workpiece is connected with some fixed, or you can say with some non-rotating device, another workpiece is connected to some rotational types of device. How it is I will explain in details simultaneously. Okay. So, here you see this left side workpiece, you can say let this is the workpiece 1 and let this is the workpiece 2. So, this left side workpiece is connected with some motor. So, this I am writing, this is called motor. Now, this motor generally connected with a spindle. So, this is the spindle, okay. And what happens, to stop the rotation of this spindle, there is used some brake, okay. So, that also I am writing, here it is called brake, this you should keep it in mind. So, you see in right side this workpiece 2 which is generally connected with a non-rotating device. So, this is a, you can write as non-rotating device. So, this right side also this non-rotating device is connected with some spindle. This spindle generally consists this workpiece 2, you can see. And another things, generally to this right side non-rotating device, this right side non-rotating device, I am writing device, this non-rotating device generally have a motion, this right side spindle, you can say this is the right side spindle. So, in front of this right side spindle, this workpiece 2 is connected. This workpiece 2 can be provided axial motion, that means it can provide axial motion. Okay. So, this axial motion is done by using some hydraulic press types of system. So, here I am writing this is generally hydraulic cylinder types of thing. That is why here I am writing this is the hydraulic cylinder. So, to which generally this second workpiece is connected. So, by using this hydraulic cylinder, here what we can do, we can give some axial motion to make contact second workpiece with workpiece 1. Okay. So, once this, so here what are the main steps you can see. So, first of all we have to start rotation of this workpiece 1 by using this motor. With this motor is connected with this spindle is connected with the workpiece. So, first of all motor start, after that this motor start connection with what it is called spindle, then spindle start rotation. So, after that generally due to this rotation of this spindle, this workpiece also start rotation. After that this non-rotating device, that means workpiece 2 generally by using some axial motion make contact with this workpiece 1. Okay. So, once it contact each other, that means workpiece 1 and 2 contact each other, then due to this rotation of left side workpiece, what happens, there is develop some frictional heating. Okay. Due to this frictional heating, this two workpiece temperature goes within a range of around 80% of melting point temperature of this workpiece material. After that generally a force pressure, or you can say force is applied. Due to this force what happens, this workpiece to workpiece generally connect together, and what happens, the rotation is stopped at this position, and finally the joining is done after solidification. So, these are the different steps which generally taken place in this welding process, that only I have discussed here. So, here one workpiece is attached to a rotating motor device, the other is generally fixed in an axial types of motion system, what I have already told you. This is called continuous drive friction welding process, because this left side workpiece throughout the entire welding process generally have a constant rotational speed. These things you should keep it in mind. Okay. After that, an axial or radial force is applied in this workpiece 2, what I have already told you. Finally, generally the workpieces are brought together under pressure for a predetermined time. Finally, drive is disengaged, means this motor generally disengaged from this spindle system by applying the brake, and finally we have to stop the rotation, and finally joining is done. Now, we will discuss what are the different types of diagram we generally get for continuous drive types of friction welding process. Diagram means here I am going to show you how the force, how the speed varying, and how the what it is called offsetting, that means shortening of these two workpiece edges taken place. That related thing I will discuss here diagrammatically. Okay, that is why here I have written diagram of continuous drive friction welding technique. Here you see, so this I am drawing here, then it will be more clear to you. So, here you see, let us with time, this horizontal axis represent time, and this axis represent, here I am going to show you different types of parameter which generally considered in continuous drive friction welding process, which are generally, one is called speed. So, how this speed, that means rotational speed varying, first I will show you how this rotational speed varying with time in continuous drive friction welding process, that I am just showing. Here you see, there is uses a motor, here I am just showing this motor have a constant speed, what I have told you, constant speed throughout the entire welding process. because here this is, so this is generally constant rotational speed which I am showing. So, here I am just writing this thing as friction speed. So, here this thing I am writing friction speed. So, in continuous drive friction welding process, generally to rise its optimum, or you can say desirable frictional speed, it takes some time. That is why I have drawn this line little bit inclined, and at the end when the welding is generally completed, at that time generally you see how this motor is stopped, because to go back from some optimum speed to 0 speed, it takes some time. That is why it is also inclined. Right side also I have drawn it in inclined types of way. Now, so first of all we have to make contact with this workpiece. So, this is the speed. After that I will show you how the offsetting is taken place. So, first of all I will show you how the frictional welding force is acting here, that I will just show you. So, second one I am just writing here in dotted, that is called force. So, how due to this rotation this force is acting here. So, in friction welding process, continuous friction welding process, here what happens. So, after start rotation we have to make contact with the workpiece. So, you see, so make contact with this workpiece, and we have to keep this workpiece contact force generally remain constant during the welding process. That is why I am written here. You see, it goes to some optimum level, after that we make it constant. So, once the material becomes sufficient heated here, so initially we are heating by using some constant force. Here you see, this is generally called friction welding force. So, here I am writing force, this is called force, okay. This is called friction welding force, how it is remain during this welding process, that I am showing. So, after that once the sufficiently heating is done, at that time a further axial pressure is applied, that is called forging force, okay, that also I am writing. So, suddenly once it sufficiently heated, so here generally we use a sudden rise of force, okay, because what happens, this is called generally forging types of, due to this the material generally you can see this flashing out like this, okay, due to this is happened due to this forging types of force, or you can say force, okay, due to this force these types of things generally happen. So, here I am writing this sudden rise of this force is called forge force, okay. So, initially this friction force is remain almost constant for a particular time. Once it is sufficiently heated, at that time generally we apply sufficient force to make it close contact and to make it joining, okay. That is why this force is applied, okay. So, due to this what happens, it is offsetting, that also I am showing. So, once this workpiece makes contact with each other, at that time itself due to this force, this workpiece start some offsetting. In workpiece there is some offsetting phenomenon. Offsetting means reducing its length, because what happens there, due to frictional heating, heat is generated and material is remain soft there, and as there is some constant force applied within this two workpiece, that is why what happens, due to this constant force and softening of material, there is occur some what it is called offsetting types of, or you can say shortening of this workpiece material is taken place. How this shortening is taken place throughout the entire rotational speed or frictional speed, that I am showing, and how it generally gradually you see this offset is increasing, that means gradually this shortening of the workpiece is taken place till this force. After that, once this force is applied, that means once the sudden force is applied there, then this offsetting also suddenly increase. What I am telling you, this offsetting you can see this suddenly increase. Okay. So, at that time, that means at this time you can say welding is completed. So, that is why here I am writing completion of welding. So, completion of welding. So, how these different types of important parameter is acting here, that I am showing. So, this dotted line represent force, here I am writing another one is dashed line which I am representing as offset. That means how the offset friction speed, and so this is actually called offset curve or offset diagram. And here you see, so from here to here you can write, from here to here this much of offset is taken place during constant frictional speed, you can say, but here from here to here this much of offset is taken place due to this force what I am telling, understand. That is why what happens, this portion is called force offset distance. So, this is called force offset distance, this you should keep it in mind, this is called force offset distance. And from this starting to end, this, that means from here to here, this is called total offset, what I am telling, understand. This you can write as total offset. So, how the different types of parameter affect due to this constant dry friction welding process, that I am showing, and how it's happened, that also I am showing here. So, I think it is clear to you. Before going to discuss about inertia dry friction welding process, here we should discuss what are the important parameter of this constant dry friction welding process. Here the variable which need to control are, here you see one is called heating pressure, that means during the constant rotation times what should be the heating pressure. We have to control the rotational speed, we have to control the parameters which is called forging pressure, which I have already told you. Another one is how much time is we should apply here for completion of welding, this is also another important parameter. Then another one is called braking time, when we should apply the brake, that is also important time. Another one is called forging time. Forging time means during forge operation, after forging to end of the welding process, how much time it is required. So, every parameter have a significant effect on what it is called on final welding quality. Okay. So, little bit idea I am giving here. Here you see in continuous dry friction welding process, here one things you can observe from here, what happens in friction welding process, this whatever the parameter I have shown you, if this parameter is different, then what happens is weld quality becomes different. How it is, little bit I am showing, like here I am showing some of the example. Here this is not a proper welding joint. These types of joining process generally taken place on the rotational, that means high pressure, once high pressure is applied and low rotational speed is applied. So, this phenomena is occur due to high pressure, and low RPM, you can write low RPM. So, due to this high pressure, what happens, this soft material try to generally splash out, actually you see, that is why this joint region generally expanded externally, you can say. And what happens, there is at the middle it is generally less material is there, because material is generally try to come out from this region due to high pressure. So, high pressure and low RPM is not good for these types of welding process. Similarly, if the speed is low pressure, if you apply, and if your speed is high, then what happens, there is occur opposite phenomena. So, due to this low pressure and high speed, what happens, here you can see this material generally try to accumulate at the middle region. So, this is also not good, this you should keep it in mind. So, you should use a optimum optimum types of pressure as well as speed. So, this if your pressure and speed is optimum, then what happens? We will get a optimum quality of friction welding process, that which I am showing. That means throughout the entire joining region, the weld bead zone should be uniform, then your weld quality is good. So, this first and second, this one and this one is not appropriate types of weld quality. This you should keep it in mind. So, here I am showing what is the effect of different types of operating parameter. This friction welding process we can use till around 250 millimeter outside diameter types of bar. What I am written here. Okay. Now, here I am just going to show you by using some diagram how this variable affect actually each other, that I am going to show you. Okay. Like here you can see. So, in one figure I have already shown you different types of operating parameter of continuous dry friction welding process, and their effect I am going to show you here. Okay. Like here with time, let this is represent the heating time, and this is represent the heating pressure. So, you see it is obvious that okay, once heating pressure is more, definitely your heating time required will be less. So, that is why here the curve is like here the relation of these things you can represent like this. That means it gradually decreases. That means if this heating pressure, let us what happens, like I am just giving you some example. Generally heating pressure, let us 25, 50, 75, 100, let these are in MPa. Okay. Pressure unit is megapascal, correct, and heating time is in second. So, little bit I am giving you hints, what is the time required, what is the range of time generally used here, that also you should know. Here you can see the time is varying like 2 second, 4 second, like this. Okay, this time, let this is around 10 second like this. So, how the time, so you get a idea, general time range generally required to heat these things, also you can get a idea. So, you see for a particular RPM, for a particular, let us keeping all other parameter constant, let us around 1000 RPM, let us around 1000 RPM, this RPM is constant, rotational speed is constant. So, here you can see this, if heating pressure is increased, then this heating time is decreased, that you can observe. What I am telling, understand. So, lower the pressure, higher the heating time, this you should keep it in mind. Another example I am just showing how the other parameter effects with heating time and heating pressure and everything I am going to show you. Here another figure where I am going to show how for a particular heating pressure, how the axial shortening is taken place. That means here I am representing heating pressure. For a particular heating pressure, how the axial shortening, that means shortening, or you can say offset, how the offset is taken place. This offset or shortening we can write here. So, offset here I am writing, this is in millimeter per second, offset rate or shortening rate. So, you see this is very common, if the heating pressure is more, your offset will be more. So, it will be generally you can write it is effect like this. So, heating pressure is more, then your what it is called offset is also more, because heating pressure more means more pressure will applied during welding operation. At that time shortening of the workpiece will be also more, because due to softening of the materials, shortening means offsetting of the workpiece material will be more. So, this is generally for a particular RPM, let us 1000 RPM. Now, if the speed, rotational speed is more, then you should keep it in mind, if the rotational speed is more, let this is your 2000 RPM, just 2000 RPM. If this rotational speed is more, then with you can say with heating pressure generally compared to a small RPM, we will get less offset. Why it is? Because if the rotational speed is more, then during offset time, due to this high rotational speed, what happens? Due to high rotational speed, localized heating is more, because due to the high RPM, so heat dissipation types of phenomena is not more due to this high rotational speed. That is why localized heating and localized softening of the material is taken place. That is why due to this pressure here less offset is taken place compared to low RPM. This you should keep it in mind. Okay. That I am just showing how the parameter affect the offset and its what happens, then how the parameter is varying with time. That these things you should know. That is why what happens, if you know these things, then what happens, you can use this knowledge in your actual field or actual practical field. Okay. Now, here I am going to show you different types of continuous drive friction welding process. Here you can see. So, this continuous drive friction welding process we can apply rod to rod. This is one rod to another rod, we can connect together. We can connect to hollow tube, this is one tube, this is another tube, here the joining is done and here the joining is done. Okay. We can join one rod to another tube, you see this is rod, or you can say rod to this is hollow tube. So, rod to tube we can connect by using this continuous drive friction welding technique. We can join rod to plate, we can join tube to plate also. You see this one is plate, this bottom one is plate. So, you see how the different types of configuration of friction welding joint we can get by using continuous drive friction welding technique, that I am just showing here. Okay. Now, we will discuss about inertia drive friction welding process. So, inertia drive friction welding process, this is the detail of inertia drive friction welding process. Here you can see, so here is also there is a motor. In this welding process, one thing you should keep it in mind, here we use a flywheel. Okay. So, first of all, here why it is called inertia drive friction welding process, because here we use general this inertia energy to frictional heating purpose. First of all, we start rotating this flywheel, after that we disengage this motor from this flywheel. So, this is called flywheel. Okay. Everything I am just first leveling, after that I will discuss in details here. This is flywheel, this is called spindle. So, with this spindle, generally this spindle is connected with this motor, and with this spindle there is connected one flywheel and another one is called workpiece. Okay. So, this is called flywheel. In front of this flywheel we used a chuck, this you should keep it in mind. Okay. We used a chuck here, and here these are two workpiece. This workpiece 1, this is workpiece 1, this is workpiece 2. Here you can see this workpiece generally have a rotation, but workpiece 2 do not have any rotation. Here generally the workpiece 2 can provide, in workpiece 2 we can provide only the axial displacement to make contact with workpiece 1. Okay, these things you should keep it in mind. So, here is also used a non-rotating chuck. This is a non-rotating device, or you can say non-rotating chuck you can say, and this is also called hydraulic cylinder, because here this axial force is applied by this hydraulic pressure. This you should keep it in mind. So, this workpiece 2 have a axial motion, which due to this axial motion it's make contact with this workpiece 1. After that what happens, due to this rotation of this flywheel, and this flywheel is attached with this workpiece. So, workpiece also rotating, due to this rotational heating what happens here, heat is generated, due to this material becomes soft enough, and due to this axial pressure, this axial force, or you can say axial pressure, what happens here, the joining is taken place. Okay. These things you should keep it in mind. So, here the step is like one of the workpiece here it is connected with the flywheel. So, here this flywheel first rotated by using a motor. After that this motor generally disengaged from this flywheel spindle and workpiece. So, then flywheel start rotation due to its inertia effect. After that what happens, it make contact with workpiece 2. So, this flywheel generally gradually decreases rotational speed, and what happens, finally this flywheel gradually goes to its 0 speed, and during this time itself what happens, whatever the heat and softening operation is taken place due to axial force, due to this thing generally joining is done. These things you should keep it in mind. So, the flywheel is accelerated to the welding angular velocity first, then the drive is disengaged and the workpiece are brought together. So, drive is disengaged means here a engaged system is there with this spindle. So, this motor generally make disengaged with this flywheel. So, this flywheel is, remains its rotational speed due to its inertia effect. Then finally, frictional heat is produced at the interface of these two workpiece once it make contact with each other, and an axial force is applied to complete the welding operation. These things you should keep it in mind. This is a very interesting friction welding process, but here one thing you should keep it in mind. So, everything, whatever the speed, whatever the flywheel size, everything should be predetermined. So, depending upon its what is called size of this workpiece or type of the material, this flywheel size, rotational speed, everything generally varied. That is why here the important variable of this inertia derived friction welding process are like moment of inertia of flywheel, then initial flywheel speed, then another one is called forging pressure. So, how this parameter varying, that I will discuss here in details. Okay. Here also I am going to draw the diagram of these different types of parameter. Like here you see, here also you will get how this rotational speed varying, how the offset is varying, everything I am going to show you with time, that also here I am going to show you. So, let this is your time, and this is the first I am drawing the speed of this flywheel, how the speed is done here. So, first generally by using motor we have give a particular types of speed. So, this speed once it goes its maximum value, at that position we generally make detach the motor from this workpiece. Let this point I am representing by representing 1. So, at location 1 we detach this motor from flywheel. So, here from this point 1, this flywheel is due to this inertia effect, it gradually decreased to its 0 RPM. So, how the speed is varying, that I am just showing. So, here you see, let this is one workpiece, this is another workpiece. So, this rotational workpiece makes contact with each other at this location 1. So, that means once we detach this workpiece first, that means first of all we have to detach this workpiece from motor, after that we have to make contact with what it is called another workpiece. So, this is generally you can write here, this is generally called so welding is start time. So, you can say welding contact time. Okay. So, from this time generally what happens, the welding is started. So, how the force and other thing is varying, that I am showing. So, you see, so at that time generally force is applied. So, here you see at point 1 this force is applied. So, this force is applied, it remain generally constant for a particular time. So, due to this contact with this flywheel, two workpiece, here you see flywheel speed is gradually decreased. So, this is I am writing here, this is speed of this flywheel, this is generally force. So, here I am writing here, this is another one is called force diagram. So, after some times, once the two workpiece is sufficiently heated, at that times we apply a force. So, here we apply a force. This is called force. That means suddenly we apply a forge force. So, that also I am writing here, this is called forging types of force, that is why it is called force. How this offsetting is taken place, that also I am showing here. So, here you see due to this constant force, this offsetting is gradually increasing. So, once this sufficiently this force is applied, at that time generally here you see, here also generally more offset is taken place. So, from here to here, this is called forge offset distance you can write, because this offset distance is taken place here you see due to this force, that is why it is called force offset. Okay. So, at that time you can write here, at that time generally here welding completion time. So, welding I am writing here welding completion time. This you should keep it in mind. So, how the force or frictional force, how it is varying during this inertial drive friction welding process, that idea you got from here. Okay. Now, we will discuss what is the similarity between this inertial drive and continuous drive friction welding process and dissimilarity of this inertial drive and friction welding, continuous drive friction welding process in detail. First of all, the similarity between continuous drive and inertial drive friction welding process. Here in both the methods, generally welding heat is developed by frictional heat and plastic deformation of the material that you can observe. And both the method, you can see axial force for offsetting is required. Another third similarity we can write in both the method, axial pressure may be changed at the end of the rotation, that you can observe, because at the end of rotation axial pressure generally suddenly increase, that is called force. So, that is why what happens, this axial pressure may be changed, usually raise, which I have written here. Both the method, these are the similarity. Then what is the dissimilarity between them? In continuous drive and inertial drive, there can be different types of dissimilarity or difference, you can say. Like in continuous drive, one workpiece directly connected to a rotating motor drive, which you observe. This rotating motor drive generally remain rotating and its contact with this workpiece spindle during the whole welding time, that you can observe. But in inertial drive, one of the workpieces is connected to the flywheel. So, in rotator, this is one dissimilarity. Then another one is the rotational speed remain constant until the brake is applied, which I have already told you, but here you see rotational speed decreases continuously and it goes to 0 during this process, because here generally we disengage this flywheel spindle to motor after some times, that you observe. That is why after that it is due to this inertia effect and due to this frictional force, it generally gradually decrease to what it is called 0 speed. So, here rotational energy of the workpiece converted to heat energy, and here this heat energy, and it is also plastically deform the material, and finally it produce the welding. So, here the rotational energy is the main energy here, whereas in case of inertial drive, here kinetic energy of the flywheel generally converted to heat energy, and it produce plastical deformation and finally do the welding operation. Okay. So, here we use in case of inertial drive kinetic energy, whereas in case of continuous drive we use rotational energy. This you should keep it in mind. So, other variant of friction welding process, like here I am showing some other variant, the basic category which I have already told you. When one workpiece which is generally rotating, another workpiece is remain non-rotational state. So, we apply a force here in this two workpiece and we make the connection like this. This is called basic friction welding process. This friction welding process can be counter rotation friction welding process, that means one workpiece is rotating in clockwise direction and another workpiece is rotating in anti-clockwise direction, and we apply some pressure or you can say force due to frictional heating, and joining is done by this force. Because in friction welding process, two important thing is there, one is called frictional heating, another one is called pressure or you can say force. This you should keep it in mind. That is why in every diagram I have shown this force. Okay. Another one is called center drive, or it is also sometimes called splicing types of friction welding process. Center drive means at a time we can join friction welding joint by using center drive friction welding process. Here you see this center one is rotating and this other two workpiece is non-rotation in nature, that means they are fixed. So, once we apply a frictional types of heating by applying this force, due to this application of force and frictional heating, welding is done. Another can be twin welding. Twin welding means here this middle one is remain stationary, and this both side to other two workpiece generally have a rotation in similar direction, same direction you see, and we apply a force or you can say pressure to join the workpiece together. There can be some another category of this friction welding process, like this can be reciprocating types of frictional welding process. Here I am showing this figure is representing a angular reciprocating friction welding process. Here this is one workpiece, this is another workpiece. Here you see that this is workpiece 1, this is workpiece 2. So, one workpiece is fixed, this is one workpiece is fixed, another workpiece generally have given a reciprocating types of motion. That means clockwise and anti-clockwise direction types of motion, like you see that what I have written, this direction as well as this direction. So, due to this clockwise and anti-clockwise reciprocating types of motion, here heat is generated in the joining zone, and what happens due to application of pressure, the forging types of effect is taken place and joining is done. This is called angular reciprocating types of frictional welding process, because here angular reciprocating, that means clockwise and anti-clockwise types of motion is applied to develop heat by friction. There can be linear types of reciprocating friction welding process. Here generally two square types of shape of workpiece material we can join here, two rectangular shape types of workpiece material we can join together. Here is also reciprocating linear, means one is to and fro direction, that means forward and backward direction at a particular location by application of force F. If we just do some rubbing operation to and fro forward direction, or I can say forward and backward direction over one plate with another plate, then what happens in this contact region, there will develop frictional heating. Due to this frictional heating, the material will become soft enough. This temperature rise and material becomes soft enough. If we apply pressure, further pressure, we can join the workpiece together. Okay, this is called linear reciprocating types of friction welding, because here linear reciprocating types of motion is applied to generate heat, raise temperature, and what it is called to convert material from solid to plastic state. Okay. Then another types of friction welding process is like radial friction welding process. In radial friction welding process, here generally these two workpiece, this is workpiece 1, this is another workpiece. These two workpiece generally connected with a collar, this is generally called collar. So, by using this collar, these two workpiece we can join together with this collar. What happens here? This collar is make contact with this workpiece 1 and workpiece 2. After that, in this collar, some rotation types of motion is given. That means here the collar is rotating. So, due to this rotation of this collar with this two workpiece contact surface, there due to this contact between this collar surface and this two workpiece surface, there develop frictional heating. Due to this frictional heating, once this material becomes soft enough, at that time you see just some radial force here, you see this some radial force, that means throughout the entire direction generally we apply some radial types of pressure in this collar region. Due to this what happens, the material in this region join together, because in collar region there due to frictional heating the material becomes soft enough. So, once we apply this radial pressure, this joining is done. Okay. This is called radial friction welding process, because what happens here, then due to this radial force is applied in this collar region. Due to this radial force here frictional heating and frictional joining is taken place. That is why it is called radial friction welding process. This friction welding process also use some other purpose also, like this called friction surfacing purpose also it is used, where generally we see surface modification, or you can say for surface cladding types of purpose also we can use this friction surfacing types of technique. So, generally to modify the surface property, one workpiece is rubbing over another workpiece by using some rotational types of tool. How it is little bit I am explaining. Let us what happens, we want to make the friction surfacing operation in a plate. So, what happens, this plate in this this plate we use a rotating tool. In this tool we applied a force F, here you see this force F. So, this tool is rotating as well as some force is applied over there. So, what happens, so in contact region, this you see this contact region, this material becomes soft enough, and due to these things, due to the softening and what happens, rotation of this tool, the material is gain some rotational motion, you can say, or a material become deformed, and there occur some plastic movement, plastic types of movement of this soft material. So, due to these things, this material microstructural changes generally taken place, what I am telling, understand. So, this is called friction surfacing. So, by this friction surfacing type of phenomena, we can improve the surface quality, or we can make the surface quality as per our required property. These things we can do without applying some third material, or with some third material also, what I am telling, understand. Let us we want to make some surface treatment by some other alloying element. So, if we use some surface alloying element over this plate, after that if we just rotate this rotational tool over this plate, and if we just make the mixing of these things together by this frictional heating, there can be improve this surface quality. Okay. So, this is called friction surfacing types of operation. This is a very important operation which is generally used for surface treatment purpose. Okay. So, these are the references which I followed for this lecture. So, next lecture I will discuss about friction stir welding process, which is a very important welding process nowadays, because lot of research is going on in this friction stir welding process. So, in that lecture I will discuss what are the different categories of friction stir welding process, then what is the principle of friction stir welding process, what are the different parameters affecting this friction stir welding process, what is the application, then what is the advantage, drawback of this friction stir welding process in details. Thank you.